Okay, that's enough of that. We're going to go back here into game number 3. It's going to be top 5, taking the victory. Very nicely done last game, going up against CNB eSports Club. The draft a little ways underway. I got trolled pretty hard on a parody of that song. I finally found the real one, which was a lot better, I must say.
I stopped listening after you played the first song. I couldn't do it. I don't know what you were thinking, but I just couldn't do it.
I don't know, man. It seemed pretty funny to me. I do not speak Portuguese. I cannot determine good or bad music in a different language. So, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, I don't know. So, going into this game, as we've delayed it a little long, but for the most part, it should be. We're still pretty early in the draft. We already see one big up. Pretty standard bans. The Invoker gets taken out this time again. CNB they banned out the first game and then heavily regretted not banning out the second game. But they do get the Visage, who, if I'm not mistaken, I might be mistaken, is some of the South American team's favorite hero.
I mean, he's everybody's favorite hero right now. He's still so good. I mean, nerf after nerf, Visage remains on the scene. You know, not quite as good as ever before, but still pretty damn good.
Well, that's a sign of a pretty good hero. If he's at that point where he's not quite as good, but he's still pretty good. It's like Drow Ranger. He's okay.
No, Visage is more than okay. He's OP. But yeah, he gets picked up, and we see a Clockwork there. A couple patches ago, those were the very, very standard first-round picks. So we see them once again, still pretty current, I would say. Top 5, though, go with the Nyx Assassin. We can see it supporting. We can see it in the off lane. It's up to them. It's slightly ambiguous as they go now for their second pick.
Well, as teams start to go into a more diverse pool of supports, typically you're now going to start seeing those kind of low health, high damage output supports come into play again, as opposed to the really good all-around tanky supports that we used to get picked up. So the Nyx Assassin is now becoming a common pick just because he deals with those supports very well and can actively roam and gank, which is kind of what the teams want to do at this point. Clockwork fits the bill as well, can catch out the supports and just make their lives miserable. So at the moment, both these heroes are pretty decently seated in the meta, but you know, I kind of got to talk about this again. What's Earth Spirit, or Ember Spirit, still doing in first ban?
Alright, I mean, you're a hater, like straight up. I thought I was a hater. Ember Spirit's very good.
He is quickly becoming, to me, what, you know, I think it was, my memory might be serving me correctly, but what was Lifestealer a couple patches ago, where he got banned out every single game, but even the games he did get picked up, he kind of had a poor win rate. So it was kind of weird. I'm trying to think. I think it was Lifestealer, but I'm not quite sure what hero it was.
Sounds about right for at least some rendition of Lifestealer, as he's changed slightly, but there's a Timbersaw I was talking about with someone, with actually one of my friends, so if he's watching, shout out for you. But it's going to be Timbersaw, who is still a fantastic hero, but you're banning out maybe this Ancient Apparition, maybe this Lycan, Invoker, or an Ember Spirit, and you're not really banning out the Timbersaw, maybe not feeling confident in playing it either. We haven't seen it so far this series. I think this is the first time it even gets banned, and then two of the most annoying heroes right now that can fit into any lineup in multiple roles, Doom and Naga Siren, taken out by top 5.
Now look what you started in the chat just by playing some songs.
Yes.
Now you got everyone riled up. Come on, man. Let's not do this. I don't want to start a riot.
Riot.
Oh, God. So, Naga Siren taken out. Nature's Prophet, a lot of rat getting exterminated in this banning phase. And CNB, they opt for the Luna again. So they really want to try this one again, except they want to try to go for 100% less Zookeeper, which is exactly what kind of makes her a little bit less potent, is the whole threat of the enemy picking up a lot of units. But they still have quite a few heroes in the pool that can mitigate the success of her ultimate of the Eclipse, namely the Beastmaster again. Lifesteal actually getting picked up for that magic immunity. As I spoke about him, he picked him up with a Nyx Assassin as well, so got to fear those Nyx bombs. But real quick, I actually want to shift topics. I mean, I pretty much covered what I needed to say. Luna and against Lifestealer. This is a pretty classic carry versus carry, as they're both, to be honest, quite equally matched in the terms of the carry role.
Yeah, both of them get online a lot earlier and can join the fights up a lot earlier than say your other carries like Anti-Mage, like Void for the extreme cases. So it's interesting. Luna obviously has that flash farm, but Lifestealer catching her out before BKB with an open wounds. They can kill her off quickly. But you've picked up a Lifestealer right now. I can see CNB eSports taking a Viper to the mid lane, picking up maybe a Venomancer, or picking up a Bane here, all just in an attempt to shut down that Lifestealer and make his life hell.
Well, if his life's hell, he'll just steal yours. But I mean, a Nyx Assassin Lifestealer bomb, and you could even go for the Storm Spirit as well, since they haven't really picked up a mid laner, and it would fit pretty well with this draft. But Nyx bombs are not something that you can really prepare for, and not really shut down easily as well. You have to really rely on finding him in the early laning stages and killing him then, because if you let him farm up like the Luna's probably farming, then you're going to have a bad time. And actually, CNB are going to go for the OD. So despite there being a Lifestealer on the field, despite there being a Nyx Assassin on the field, they still pick up the Outer World Devour. And I can't really understand that decision.
I mean, it's still a fantastic hero, but I don't know. Templar Assassin should do very well in this lane, especially with the new decreased range on Astral Imprisonment. OD not going to be able to really spam those out. TA could keep up the refraction, and right now top5 got themselves a pretty scary lineup, but I mean, the hammer. It's got the potential to be dropped. Luna's got that big ultimate as well, so CNB, they're a pretty strong fighting force if Clockwork can do what he does and catch anyone out of position.
Yeah, but one mana burn is going to take out OD for half his health.
That is true. Picking OD into a Nyx Assassin can be pretty risky.
Very risky, if you ask me. And you know, OD does fairly well versus a non-int heavy lineup. And right now, all they have is Rubik, so he's not feeling too bad about not being able to do the damage. But again, I mean, you have the BKB embedded into the Lifestealer. So if he pops off his rage at the right time, won't have to worry about what the Outer World Devourer has to offer. And the Nyx Assassin is just a classic counter to the OD. So, you know, I'm kind of interested to see where they're going to go with this. But you're right, Templar Assassin should have a nice time in this lane. Great bully potential against this OD with the decreased range, as you mentioned. And Io gets picked up for the potential of the Clockwork Luna Io anywhere you go.
Yeah, I mean, I really like. We might even see sort of I attribute it to Cloud9, a Cloud9-esque offlane Luna Wisp together, and then we can see Clockwork maybe farming up, or OD farming up the safe lane, Clockwork into the middle. I don't know. Could even see Luna heading up the middle lane with an Io offlane Clock, and then OD Visage up top, just to sort of put two people in the mid lane, shut down TA. Get out ahead early in that EXP category as you're running those interesting lanes. But we do see that Venomancer banned out. That was the support they were scared of for the Lifestealer. I like that. Slark, been played a couple times. They're going to take him out. Top 5 now for their last pick. They're looking for their off laner. We'll see what it's going to be. Nature's Prophet, the popular one of the night, has been taken out.
Now, I'm just looking at the chat right now, and I'm utterly confused. The Google Translate on Chrome is saying that it's translating from Portuguese.
Of course it's Portuguese.
It's Portuguese? What?
Don't embarrass yourself. Let's just move on.
Let's just move on. Yes, you are. Upset. I feel really upset about this.
You're missing a big something. As Enchantress is going to be picked up 5th there.
You gotta help me out here.
They speak Portuguese in Brazil? What do you mean?
I am really retarded, aren't I?
Yeah, I told you to leave it alone, but you kept pushing the issue.
I'm so used to casting Revenge and it being instant. Oh my god.
Yeah, Peruvians speak Spanish, Brazilians speak Portuguese.
I'm gonna hear about this later.
Yeah, you're done. Your life as a caster is over. I'm sorry.
I'm done. Oh my god. Well, in an attempt to damage control, I now know that Brazilians speak Portuguese, and I feel like the entire schooling system here in America has failed me. Okay.
It's not very good, to be fair.
Okay. Oh, man. I'm going to kind of stay away from the chat for a while.
10 seconds remaining.
Enchantress picked up.
Yes. She's my favorite hero.
Another potential Lifestealer bomb hero. There's a lot of potential for Lifestealer. Yeah, I mean, not as good as Chen, but still sending on those...
Yeah, the creep, I guess. I would say Nyx Assassin or a Blinking TA, though.
Yeah, more so. But if you're out of options, the Enchantress could be good. I mean, ordinarily, you see an Enchantress coming up for a gank, you're thinking, oh, shit, it's an Enchantress. Well, I might be able to tank that. And then out comes the Lifestealer, and, well, you nope out of there before you die. So, I don't know. It's an option. You definitely have a lot of options. And, I mean, for the most part, you're right. Nyx Assassin, Templar Assassin should be the best, and I don't know. I don't think CNB are really coming prepared to fight what top 5 have to offer. I mean, Lifestealer does very well versus the Clock, versus the Wisp, versus IO, sorry, and versus the OD. Nyx Assassin versus the OD and IO is good. Enchantress in general for the early game is really good. If TA can snowball faster than this OD, she'll be very good. I mean, I don't know. I'm excited to see how this is going to play out because top 5 have a lot of rolling snowball potential, but CNB have been impressing me with their team fight lately, so I don't know. I don't know who to give this game to right yet, but if I were to go off pure thought, I would think it's top 5.
And the chat has caught up to your mistake.
Yep. Let's see what we got. What we got here.
It's not too bad so far.
No. Yeah, you know.
Oh, no, it's getting a little worse. All right, let's move on. We will introduce top 5 here. They're on the Radiant. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, or Zon. He's going to be playing that Templar Assassin. 3, 2, 1 once again on the Enchantress. Teacher D playing that Rubik once more. XXX will be offlaning with, excuse my French, a shit ton of regen on this Nyx Assassin. And Fly is going to be carrying it up here on the Lifestealer. So they change up their roles a little bit. Fly's primarily a mid, and, you know, they're mixing it up, but not too much. And why don't you go ahead and take away your favorite Portuguese-speaking Brazilians?
Oh, my God. You're not going to let me live this down, are you?
That's it. Maybe.
All right. My life is over. CNB, my favorite Portuguese-speaking team from Brazil, so formerly known as Swag and Tiger. It's going to be Tavo, our favorite tanky player, going to be playing the Clockwork. We have Ned on the IO. Beguinha will be playing the, oh my God, Visage. Holy shit. King RD on the Luna, and last but certainly not least, on the OD, who could be having a really bad time this game, ADR.
Yeah, what are we going on about this Visage here?
I just blinked. I'm sorry. I'm reading the chat too much.
Yeah, it's sometimes can be distracting, but yeah, Beguina, he's supporting up. He's got some sentries. Ned with one of the wards. They actually already put one down on the rune, so giving all the vision to this aggressive tri-lane. We see King RD on the Luna picked up that double damage, so going to dominate this lane for a little while. Fly can't really do much of anything down here. So just going to go ahead and soak up some XP while this Enchantress is jungling. It's a duo bottom lane for the most part, so they're going to have to play very, very defensive. But up top, Tavo kind of having his way with this little insect.
Yeah, I mean, these cogs, power cogs, are my favorite skill in lane. If you're in a 1v1 lane, I mean, aside, you level up cogs first and then you go for full battery assault. Because what cogs will do is every single time that your enemy goes in for a last hit, you pop the cogs, they get knocked back, they go away with less mana than before, and they just eliminate their potential to harass. And now he's cogging in. Does he have a point in battery assault? He does, but he's not going to use it because there's a creep nearby. In fact, he's actually taking the worst end of this trade. He gets stunned up, 1 or 2 more auto attacks. He's going to get a kill on this, and he ends up getting blocked. Oh man, does he have a mana burn? He doesn't have the mana for anything. He's actually going to go in straight off. He had the... Oh man. If he had waited a second, popped the spiked, and walked in, he probably would have gotten the kill there, but unfortunately...
Oh, that's actually a really good point. He could have done that. That would have been next level, actually.
1, 2, 3 sitting in the mid lane with 0 mana. And you know, I'd like to point out real quick that one redeeming factor to what's been going on is that I did end up getting the scoreboard. You can see it's 1-1 right now. So, you know, you can't flame me too much for that. This is a best-of-3 series. Top 5 won Game 2, CNB won Game 1. And now we're starting out Game 3. Fresh, strong. Both teams have shown how much power they can exert on the other. Now it's up to see how they can respond to each other at their best. I'm looking forward to this. So, going back, I mean, 2.5 minutes in, fairly quiet. Can't expect much from a 2.5-minute game, but Tornado, just being a harassment tool in the mid lane, finally goes down 1-2-3, getting some mana back, and then immediately losing it again.
Yeah, he goes for the bottle, of course, as TAs normally do. He rushes it, actually. He just gets pulled up some tangos. There were some D-wards down here in the bottom lane, D-warding up again, as actually the Dire have dropped in another Sentry Ward, and they're going to re-D-ward, blocking, keeping the camp locked with the Sentry Ward, as the Radiant had taken out the Observer up top. But we've got another Cog match, XXX, this time locked inside, not faring quite as well. Tavo chasing him back, and XXX is going to retreat to his tower. So Tavo, still very much alive, didn't give up that first blood, no blood drawn, and we'll see where it's going to be. Could be in the bottom lane. 3-2-1 with the Hellbear Smasher. There's the open wounds onto Baguina. He should be going down, definitely going down. There's so much damage. That's the first blood for Fly.
Yep, and giving a Lifestealer a first blood like that is never a good option, but it's ended up going to happen. And another A name getting a prize. I just had to point that out because it was
Nice.
it's been
First
so
time in a while.
Yeah, I know. I'm actually surprised. In fact, it's quite the minority now. Maybe we'll see a lot more this game. I don't know, but 1-2-3 doing a good job bullying up ADR in this mid lane. Meanwhile, top lane, while all that action was happening on, Tavo trapped XXX in the cogs again, but wasn't able to do too much as he trapped a couple of creeps in as well. And there he goes, taking a couple of tower hits, so he's not really feeling too good about that. Not really my favorite starting build in a 1v1 lane to pick up boots, as you could pick up so much more in terms of like a clarity, some more regen, just make solidify your early game advantage in this lane. But he ends up going for the boots again, fearing the enemy tri-lane, and it's not really paying off for him.
Yeah, we see this tether up now on the Luna. That's pretty effective. It keeps already very fast Luna even faster with that 17% move speed buff. The spirits are online, so there's some damage, but if that Visage is going to keep getting caught out, or you get caught out without maybe a tether and no points in overcharge yet, but should be coming next for Ned on the little Wisp. You mentioned the first blood. Dangerous to give it away to a Lifestealer, but I mean, King RD is 22-9 compared to 8-1, so he's having a hard time. Mid lane, meanwhile, 1-2-3 looks to get a little aggressive with this Refraction. The Wildkin Tornado still just being annoying over here to ADR as he's back in his normal role playing mid. I would have to say his Luna last game was pretty lackluster.
Yeah, I mean, that could be attributed to the fact that he wasn't playing in his strong role, and the fact that he just had so much to compete with. Now he's back comfortable. He's got his ultimate up in the mid lane, ready to drop the hammer, and maybe just in time, as there's a smoke rotation possibly into his lane. If he can get a good counter initiation off, he might be able to pick off a kill, and it looks like he's just hanging back right now, bottle crowing it up. The two supports waiting for the rune. No, they're just going to make their way up to the top lane now, realizing there isn't much potential to get a kill in the mid lane. No! Wow, they're kind of undecisive right now, and here they go. They're right back into the mid lane, waiting for this kill, and ADR, sporting out the Hyper X tag, is just playing really careful.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Indeed, he's got very good sense. They know that they're missing. I mean, Lifestealer has completely left the bottom lane. If the whole tri-lane is missing, where else could they be but middle? They go for the gank here. This ultimate is definitely going to hurt the Enchantress. But they're not even going to throw down the ultimate whatsoever, despite some TPs coming in. Maybe he should have just dropped the hammer, but here comes the TP by Tavo. They're going to take out one. He's going to hook over to the Enchantress, and they will get the better of this trade anyway. And actually, I think that's okay. They keep the, I don't even know what it's called anymore, Sanity's Eclipse online, so they can just use that again. But bottom lane, they're actually going to pick up a kill there. CNB eSports tearing up the early game quickly on the board there with 3 kills.
Yeah, it was a great trade. 3 for 1. I mean, you lose your mid laner, that's fine, as I don't think OD is going to be too much of a problem for top 5 to kill throughout the game. But they grabbed 3, and they got them all in the supports, most notably the Wisp, who's almost level 5. 7 minutes in, the faster he gets his ultimate up, the relocate, the faster this game will start to go south for top 5.
Indeed. 1, 2, 3. He does not give up his life in that middle lane. He was able to escape. He's 29-4 on the TA, so he's doing okay. OD OD dies. He's got a little bit more CS, so I'd say that lane is going pretty even, but Clockwork got a lot out of that. He's up to level 8 right now compared to just level 7 on the Nyx Assassin. This is his first rotation over to the mid lane, looking to find out ADR, and of course, mana burn as it gets more points in that. It's really going to hurt this OD, who might end up rushing a BKB this game. We'll see what he wants to go for as bottom lane lifestealer. Still not able to get much. He's picked up 1 CS in the last 4 minutes. And meanwhile, King RD has picked up probably 20 CS in the last 4 minutes, so he's doing very well on this Luna.
Yeah, so 4 heroes amassed into the bottom lane. The hook actually flies out. TOP5 on point, hits out to fly, kind of ironically, and now one Lucent Beam will seal the deal, giving that kill to Luna, and they're not done. They're going straight in onto Teacher D, and now he's teaching a class on how to make it back to the fountain the hard way. And well, I mean, that's a double kill for King RD, and to put things bluntly, a really big lead for CNB.
That's a really nice reference. I like that, with the teacher teaching the class on how to go back to the fountain. It did not go unnoticed.
I try really hard, actually.
All right. Well then.
Did you notice my word of the day the other game, Hajira? I looked up a word of the day today, and I promised myself I'd use it in the cast, and, you know, working out pretty well.
I did not notice that. I'm sorry.
It's a nice word. You should start using it. It actually
Enlighten me?
It fits really well with Dota. I will after ADR gets away in the mid lane, and it looks like he will. Is there a telekinesis? There is a telekinesis. 1, 2, 3 is ready. Double damage, actually, going straight on in, but here comes the battery assault, and now the Luna bringing in the arsenal. Here she comes with the Eclipse, picking up Teacher D, and that is going to be another double kill. And wow, I think it's safe
bottom lane as well. Ned, though, he goes back on the Wisp. He will be able to tether away to the creep wave, but will he be able to live? Open Wounds is just about to run out. That spell lasts forever. And Lifestealer Fly gets 1 rebuttal kill, but all in all, a lot better for CNB as they look to push down the middle tower. And finally, tell me what this word is.
Oh, okay. Hajira means a voyage from a less favorable location to a more favorable location, pretty much.
Did you pick that up from AC?
No, I picked it up from Word of the Day, Merriam-Webster.
Oh, mid lane. Wow, a lot of action in this game. TOP5 coming in with the hook onto 1, 2, 3, but a lot of creep around, not getting too much damage from that one. A little overzealous. Ned as well. He just died. Respawns, looking to die again. Soul Assumption goes out. Won't be able to clean up another kill. The hammer is dropped as well. Lucent Beam finally from King RD. Picks up 1, but CNB dropped 2. Nyx Assassin 1. The only person to drop on TOP5.
You know, these trades are happening all over the place, but the main person you want to focus on right now is King RD. 5-0-1. 10 minutes, has power treads and a Drum of Endurance. I mean, this guy is getting a lot out of this game, and a Luna getting this much is absolutely scary. Even though you might look like you're losing the early game, which it certainly doesn't seem like they're losing the early game. I mean, Luna sneaks up, and it takes 1 team fight before all of a sudden she's pushing up onto your tier 3s and glaives are bouncing everywhere.
Should be noted that she has an Ogre Club as well. She's got a lot. She's more than doubling up this Lifestealer who just
Look
has
at this
space.
game
Here
sense.
comes a bomb, and yeah, very, very good game sense. There's even a ward here, but that's for the Radiant, so that didn't help at all. Clockwork, maybe not as much game sense, but he's got some backup here. XXX still not Vendetta Strike. They're looking for the glowing ball. Can they take out King RD? Does not have an Eclipse, and he's going to be brought down. Maybe the Overcharge doing some work. He's still alive. Open Wounds now. Trying to zone out is TOP5. They will finally get him with the Impetus Strike. That's 3-2-1 using all of his mana right there. It's 1-for-1. Wisp actually relocated, so he will be dying on this return trip. There's really nowhere for him to go unless he can jump over to one more member. Nicely done. I saw Clockwork positioning there. And that's good teamwork. They get out a little unscathed, but look at this. Because there's so much going on in the bottom lane, 1, 2, 3. Meanwhile, middle just goes ahead and jumps in under a tier 2 and kills up that Visage.
I mean, that is kind of all it takes. Luna, all of a sudden, that momentum hits a brick wall. And, you know, Luna was about to live, but she actually broke the tether before the relocate happened. Ned was charging up the relocate, and Luna walked away.
Oh, yeah, I did see it break. I thought that was a little peculiar. She did need to get away from those right clicks, though. It was a tough call. She was going to die to those right clicks, trying to run away. I think Wisp was maybe open wounds or something. One of them was.
Wisp was staying still. He
maybe
probably could have moved closer.
Too?
Yep,
Yeah, I don't know.
should have been moving too, but I mean, it all happened, and that was a little bit of a misplay. A hook in, the first hook I've seen miss all game, and now this Tier 1 probably won't fall. I don't think it's going to be because of it, but definitely doesn't help that the hook missed. So Tier 1 top is struggling to stay alive, but it is ending up staying alive. That Fade Bolt doing good work, drawing the creep wave back, but TOP5 wants none of it. He's actually going to go up and tank the tower for King RD. Now here comes the teleport in. It's going to be the Templar Assassin with that nice 3-man slow. And end up getting the telekinesis out onto Outerworld Devour. Has the hammer, but doesn't drop it. Here comes the Eclipse, going straight in. XXX taking the brunt, but now the mech keeping everyone alive. King RD taking a lot of damage in the back as the Impetus will end up sealing the deal. Tavo going down to the Lifestealer, and all in all, Top5 completely turning its game on its head.
Yeah, I think that was a big overextension by CNB. You saw them kind of restraining from that first dive where they maybe could have picked up a quick kill, but everyone had TPs available. I mean, 123 is doing exceptionally well, having laned up against an OD sitting at second in net worth at 5.2k. FaZe Boots a Midas of her own on this Templar Assassin. A Midas matched at 11 minutes by the OD that picked up one. But OD's actually behind the TA by 1,000 gold right now, and I think CNB need to be really, really careful overextending. They got off to a really solid start. We're trying to just chain that momentum, but it's not quite working out as now King RD's died twice and starting to fall behind. I mean, he's still in front of net worth, but falling behind a little bit. 1, 2, 3. This is a big pick-off. Clockwork, 424 gold. They're going to continue that hook off the mark. He wants that one back. They should still be able to pick up 3, 2, 1, though. Losing be going to slow him down. Battery Salt, though, just running out, getting him into the cogs. Might actually catch 2. I don't think he even wants to use it. They're going to continue to chase down. One more click. Tavo now has the cogs to facilitate the escape, maybe to catch out Fly, but he's going to be okay. Into the Lifestealer, or the Nyx Assassin it goes.
Name of the game is overextension right now. I mean, everyone just overstaying their welcome, staying across the river for a little bit too long, and then just kind of seeing themselves like get annihilated as both these teams are playing really well. And now on the back lines, Outerworld Devour will find the Rubik. Where did that happen? OD diving deep for that one. But there is a Nyx bomb straight out. Tavo is still alive, actually. He could stay alive. Do they have the Astral out into Fly? They're not even going to use it. The relocate brings him out in enough time. Beguinha will pick up the Nyx in the back. And there's the Astral to keep Fly in the fray. And now fly away, fly away. Nope, it's not going to happen.
Why is he not using Arcane Orb? I don't understand.
I don't know. I guess he just got it?
Yeah, I think maybe he just skilled it, but you normally get it at like level 9, so that was weird. Maybe he messed up hitting Alt-Q just to activate it or right-clicked it or something. I mean, didn't really need it, but with Essence Aura at rank 4, it's not like you're wasting mana when you use it because it's a 40% restore chance. Like, you're gonna get your mana back unless you're really unlucky.
I'm not gonna lie, it's actually happened to me. I've drained my mana.
Yeah, it's like 1 or twice it's happened to me as well. I've woken up in the night in a cold sweat after like a nightmare of my Essence Aura not proccing my mana. But King RD still farming up very, very well. He's bought up the recipe for the BKB. I think he bought it when he was dying or thought he was gonna die, but he's getting pretty close, 900, almost 800 gold away from the Mythlore Hammer, thus completing the BKB before 20 minutes with treads and drums.
Yeah, I mean, this Luna is, I mean, she got shut down a little bit, but is playing really well to bring herself back, is getting very close to that BKB. If she hadn't died those 2 times, I would imagine she'd have that BKB already up and running, probably about 4 minutes ago even, but just because she got taken out of the fight like that, I mean, she just hasn't been able to really recover as well, but she does have the bouncing glaives, which are gonna help her to flash farm down these creep waves and overall just get that farm back and make it back into this game with a storm.
Yeah, we'll see. That Glaives buff, though, really, really helped. When it's just Luna fighting 1-on-2 like that, it's devastating. And you normally find low-level supports in pairs, don't you? Or, I mean, in this case, the Familiars are on the same team, but it's pretty nice to have those going up against Familiars as well. Not so much against Necrobooks, which is maybe something top 5 could build. It's definitely been a popular item in the previous 2 games of the series, which, you know, this is of course live right now. Well, yeah, maybe that makes sense if you're watching it live. But you can check out the VODs. They'll be on CEVO.com in the VOD section for this match, so you can do that later on if you miss Game 1 or Game 2. So we shan't spoil them now, but there was a lot of Midas, a lot of Necro Book, and here goes a Nake's Bomb attempt with this Nyx Assassin and a Roshan.
Yeah, I mean, they're not going to get this Nake's Bomb, but they kind of have to realize at this point that they're all missing from the map. They probably know what's happening. And especially with this flare coming in, they see the direction. I wouldn't be surprised if they know what's happening now, but they really have no way to respond to it now. Waited a little bit too long, and now Roche going to fall. Luna, the one who needs it most, will end up picking up the Aegis, and she's going to have her BKB and 20 gold. That's going to be a huge pickup. A Luna with a fresh Aegis and a fresh BKB going into a fight is certainly going to be a surprise, not only for top 5, but for top 5's corpses lying everywhere.
Yeah, there's also a 4-staff coming out for the OD. Clockwork already has his 4-staff, as Tavo had some really nice rotations on the clock. And the 4-staff, if we don't remember from 6.75 and a couple patches afterward, the item to go when you're Clockwork versus that Lifestealer. So that's what he goes for. The mechanism is being worked towards here by Ned, and with this tower gold, he's going to be very, very close. All the tier 1s are now fallen. They need to get back to their base, though. The tier 2 taking damage up top. The middle tower is actually going to fall, so it's a bit of a trade. A tier 1 for tier 1, giving up some map control, but a pair of BKBs come out. Hook into the mid lane, though. 1, 2, 3 in some trouble. Refraction going to do as much as he can. Whoa! Hello!
Yeah, you didn't see the TP on the map?
No, not at all.
Well, in comes the heavy artillery. And yeah, it's just Luna, I mean, IO acting as the dropship to King RD's giant-ass cannons, and that's all it takes. 1 cogs, and then the person getting trapped immediately goes from a 1v1 to a 1v3. And you factor in the close proximity with the IO spirits, and then King RD getting the damage off, and then Clockwork with the battery assault. It's way too much damage for any one hero to sustain. I mean, even with a BKB, the auto attack damage is just astronomical.
Indeed, and actually, well, let's look at the graphs. They're not quite astronomical. It's 4,000 gold worth, or net worth here for CNB. That's their advantage. Looking at XP, a little more so, 5 as we move over to 6,000 advantage in that category. So CNB definitely in the driver's seat of this game. That fresh BKB, as we mentioned, a pair of 4-staffs, medallion up and treads on the also popular Visage with this popular item build as well. And yeah, the other 4-staff, and of course a Midas residing on ADR back in his role of the mid lane, but he's going to get caught up here. The double damage, 4-staffing over the cliff, will dodge the gank successfully. Gets caught up, you know, in between the trees and a centaur, but we'll just go ahead and TP out, wasting the time of this Nyx Assassin, who already has not farmed a lot from the laning stage.
Yep, and now the Templar Assassin gets trapped in by the cogs. No, they opt not to use. In fact, they're going to go ahead and back up, as they know there's probably the counter initiation coming straight on in, and rightfully so. I mean, here comes all 5 of the aptly named top 5 and ready to re-engage. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like CNB are backing up fast enough, but the TA Psionic Trap barely missing onto Clockwork. He could still get impaled, but it's not going to happen. So a great disengage coming out from CNB. They realize their limits. They know that they've been overstaying their welcome and giving up leads because of it. So just doing a great job at controlling this game right now. And, you know, overall, they're looking fairly good. I mean, that I could probably change my opinion on that in a couple of minutes given any team fight. But for the moment, this game is pretty good if they can keep solidifying their advantage.
Yeah, they've got the strong push, decent high ground breaking, really good high ground defense with the cogs, the hook potential, you know, you can poke behind us. Yeah, the Lifestealer bomb here in the middle.
OD could be in trouble.
Looking for ADR once again, but I think they know better. They saw him pick up a DD. They see the 4-staff on him once again, but look at RD in the bottom lane popping up the BKB. Will throw out the ultimate next to a creep wave. Will he get 1, 2, 3? I think he's going to get him anyways. He goes into the meld. Needs to watch out for the melt hit. Wisp will break it. One more attack. Can he get it? The spirits come out to heal up. Now Ned in full retreat. These familiars need to go to work here. And they will do just that, dropping and going to tether away. They force out a good BKB charge, though. There was 10, and the 9-second one's now gone, both in the span of about a minute and a half. As mid lane, a bit of confrontation as well. The hook, the other way around onto XX. It should be ADR that's going to reap the benefits. He pops up the DD, gets himself caught up, and alright, dropping the hammer for it.
When you got to squish a bug, you pick up a hammer. Now King RD getting put in with the IO onto 3-2-1. The Enchant, the Untouchable, doing work, keeping her alive, but it's not going to help. As, the mech coming out, one losing beam, that's going to be enough. And on the backlines, it looks like Rubik actually taking a fall as well. To the Visage, I think I saw. So
yeah,
10-18, CNB in a great position in this game. And looks like they want to kind of solidify that with a push to the bottom lane. You know, I don't know if they're going to commit to the high ground, but they're definitely going to force top 5 to try to make a decision right now on how they're going to defend this.
Yeah, I think CNB is playing a whole lot better. We saw them get out to a strong early game advantage, good ganks, good laning presence here by RD, farming up, getting his items, getting those kills. He was 5-0 at one point. Then they got a little sloppy, making some mistakes, maybe some even unforced errors, and we might see it here again. Actually, nice defensive Astral Imprisonment. Tavo going to go ahead and go forward with his hook shot as he works towards an axe. He's going to take the fall here, but it might be enough. King RD, if he had Eclipse, that could have been the game-winning push, but he doesn't have it. This trap slow.
His Aegis is gone in 30
King RD is going to be able to
seconds.
dodge it. They need, yeah, he should actually just go ahead and die. Maybe Ned is going to drop King RD if he dies now and respawns. Likely going to die again. ADR trying to force away, but that impetus does so much damage. And now King RD and Nova against the world. They're going to drop. It's actually Visage alive last, and this is a team wipe by CNB, and I think this is them just playing a little sloppy. There's really no need for that, but it's going to push this game into the later stages and allow this Lifestealer to just rebound.
I was really surprised, actually. Like, I figured they would press the high ground, but I didn't think they'd actually fully commit to it. I imagined they would press, back up at the first line of top 5 aggression, maybe back up to the other high ground, and see if top 5 will overly get over-aggressive and follow them. But that's not what happened at all. They stayed on the high ground. They took a lot of damage. Then when they finally felt comfortable to fight, it was a little too late because they were already too low. They had already sustained enough damage and used enough spells that they weren't able to fight, and they ended up getting team wiped for nothing. So all of a sudden, 10-18 turns 15-18, and top 5 again turning the game on its head. I mean, we've bounced
Well,
back.
that was more CNB turning it on its head. I mean, I don't know why they really decided to push up the high ground there. They were like, imagine how easy this would be if we had Eclipse. This would be ending the game, but they didn't. It was like 40 seconds on cooldown, and I don't know. They get a little baited in with the Clockwork hook, but it's not really Clockwork's fault. I mean, the team could have backed off and just, you know, cut their losses there. Maybe some just miscommunication. They are playing with the stand-in, so could be affecting them.
I think they should have waited for a King RD to grab at least a Manta style before they decide to push up to something like that. I mean, Yasha's great, but those illusions would have secured the tower. I mean, you look at it at its health right now, that extra 300 damage easily could have been provided by the 2 illusions. And then, I mean, at least you have exposed racks and maybe some illusions doing some extra damage to dissuade top 5 from going in the way they did. But for the most part, they had no way to deal with what top 5 had to offer. And they underestimated the sheer amount of power that an Enchantress has with the impetus, that a Lanaya, a Templar Assassin, has with her meld and her basic damage. And then you've got the Lifestealer who's just whacking away, ignoring everything about the Clockwork with that rage, just going on and slapping him till he crumbles.
That's the worst 3 I've ever drawn. It's a short Roshan. It's going to be up in about 30 seconds. So that's nice. That's going to bode well for CNB. They can get that Aegis back up once again, put it to use. Maybe they felt really pressured to put that Aegis to use, trying to break the high ground, which I don't think is really necessary. But they've got these tier 2s that I've circled a couple times now. They're still up for grabs. It should be the next area of attack after Roshan for CNB, but we're going to see another Lifestealer gank in the Nyx Assassin. He TP's up to the top lane, going to pop Vendetta as he goes to look for, looks like you got your eyes on, it's the Clockwork up here as well as OD. We'll see. He's been having trouble ganking up this OD, who could be going for Lincoln's, could be going for Sheepstick right now with that ultimate orb.
Yeah, and I don't think he can find any kills right now. I mean, Lifestealer finds a Basher, but he's right now like leg deep in bug right now. He can't pick up the Basher, and that might be the one thing they need to secure this gank. I mean, you've got 4 stabs on the OD. He can get away from anything as long as the stun wears off. But as you have a basher, if you get a lucky bash, then he can't. So, I mean, these Nyx assassin ganks aren't really as effective as they'd hope they'd be. And I mean, it didn't really matter in the last fight because it was a straight-on fight. They didn't need the infest gank. But in terms where they're looking for pickoffs to make things happen, they need to be a little bit more efficient with these. And Roshan gonna fall again to CNB. That's gonna be King RD picking up another Aegis.
I mean, they should have known the TA trap was in there. They knew that Roche was respawn. They should have been a little more mobilized as they will catch off this Rubik. Now, the biggest pick-off in the world, but it's still a pick-off to start to charge down this middle lane, pick off these tier 2s, and regain their dominance. A hook forward onto the Lifestealer. Now, that's a target you want to find. He can't cog up here, needs to cog up, but actually he has no cooldown on cogs. He can't get out with the Force Staff either. They're going to throw out the Eclipse now just to take out 1, 2, 3. He's going to go ahead and TP. There's no way to get him out of this, but they don't have the damage. He's able to get away with just 80 HP. They force out another BKB charge. It should secure the tower, but they need to be careful here. They need to get this tower, and then they need to get the hell out. Even if Glyph of Fortification is used, they need to back because they have no Eclipse. And I don't know if they can fight without it. The Manta, though, finished up now, and you were saying that's the item you were waiting for.
She actually, I'm looking at the logs right now. Templar Assassin got down to 6 HP.
Wow.
Yeah. The last hit before she TP'd hit her for 6 HP.
Lucky her.
Yeah. That is way too close for comfort. And that kill would have definitely been at least a tier 3 mid. I mean, you think about how much... I mean, you saw that it didn't quite happen. Oh, hold on. XXX is going to find King RD, who is actually has the buff from the IO, who's going to relocate out. Not needed? No, it was definitely needed. So IO will be making his way back in, but definitely doesn't want to go for it. Where does the Clockwork hook? He actually finds Teacher D. Yeah, and Teacher D probably won't die because of it, but the hammer gets dropped. XXX gets absolutely annihilated. And we talk about the hammer too strong versus Bugs. Well, there you go. Enchantress and Nyx Assassin both down out for the count. Lifestealer and Templar Assassin are the only ones left, give or take a Rubik, to defend this tier 3 mid.
They're going to go for the high ground, it looks like, once more. Maybe not so quickly, but there's no Eclipse for another 40 seconds, and they're putting themselves in a very familiar situation. People
there's no
respawning
buyback on
relatively soon.
Though.
I mean, they're back in 10 seconds, though. I mean, if they forward TP into these points, forcing up is the OD looking to be very aggressive. They're diving past the objectives, but that's now a Rubik on the ground. No buyback on him either. Fortification has been popped. They're still not very scared. They're going to go ahead and take down the tier 3 tower. This one faring a lot better as they turn and focus on the objectives.
Now King RD is getting very greedy. Do they go in on him? Can they save their racks? It looks like they're going to go, but not fast enough. The Impale helps them out just a short amount of time. HyperX for ADR will go behind the lines, get taken a lot of damage, but won't fall. Defensively, Astrals himself up to keep him alive, keeping everyone alive. The racks does fall, and this time happening on the complete opposite end of the spectrum, as CNB have breached the high ground, taken 2, and now will go for the bottom racks and possibly the GG. It looks like top 5, though. They want one last stand.
Well, the Eclipse is back up now on King RD, so it's going to be pretty difficult to see if he can get it off. He can BKB out of this Astral Imprisonment. He's going to throw the ultimate immediately, I would imagine. Yep. Doesn't BKB, though, and he could be brought down. The Manta going to save his life a little bit there. Now he turns around onto 1, 2, 3, who was doing a lot of damage, but once he takes the focus, that Templar Assassin melted, and that is going to be the good game right there. They don't quite call it yet, but 2 lanes of racks out right now. Fly is going to melt. Just he's so far behind. Hook off the mark. 3, 2, 1. Can't get the kill. And he's going to go down. It's a full team wipe after some buybacks. And the GG comes out, so it's a quick game number 3, 30-17. And what a series.
Definitely. Look, it just kind of went back and forth. Like, both teams had their strong moment. Both teams had their ideal draft. And overall, I mean, CNB was just given a little bit too much in the end. I wasn't expecting it to work out as well as it did, but it turns out the tables turned. The Nyx Assassin actually was getting squashed by the Outer World Devourer, which I wouldn't have guessed in a million years. So, I don't know. I guess overall, just better team play by CNB throughout the series, with top 5 showing a little bit of glimmer game 2, but weren't able to keep the flames alight for game 3.
Yeah, I don't know, man. CNB, they did play very well in the early game, but they had some questionable moments. I don't know. They are playing without Klotz22, who is definitely a fantastic carry. So King RD, although he played fantastic, I think, in every series, it was kind of switching some of the other players like ADR, normally the star of this team, into that unfamiliar carry role in game number 2. But a great series, and it's late here on the East Coast. I really want to go to sleep, so thank you all for joining us. I'm Helium. You can follow me at Heliumbrella, and of course, where can they find you?
Yep, I'm Chicago Ted, and you can find me at TedCasts.
All right, I'm going to put on one of my own songs so that I don't
Thank
troll
God.
all of us. But I'm sorry. Lepo Lepo, and good night.
Oh, God.